All right. So normally, what we do is, we normally, I know what I picked it, but how about you tell us this week? Let's get to our talking points, our discussions during the film. Why don't you tell me what you thought? How about you start it off this week?
Okay, so first of all, they did an excellent job with the set decoration, making sure all of the props were. I mean, doing a film that is
Time genre wise, yeah.
yeah,
Time
that
specific.
is no easy task. Every shot in the background has to be, all the cars, the wardrobes, which were great, especially Ace's wardrobe. Yeah, so
Ace
that
plays by Wood Harris. Yes.
yes, and my favorite thing of all about the movie though is the overuse of the word baby. Like, you're a hustling motherfucker, baby. You know me, baby.
Well, that's a New York thing. Like God and Son and Baby. Hey, what's up, baby? And first, and remember that successful
That
failure
is
album.
true because my stepbrother is from like Newark, I think, and when Mitch is always washing his shoes and all that,
Played by Mekhi Phifer.
that is my stepbrother to a T. He's always like, gotta keep my shoes clean, baby. And so that checks out. That
Mitch definitely
is
had
New York.
OCD. He definitely had OCD.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed was the contrast between somebody like him and somebody like Lulu.
Hmm.
The contrast between two people, they both have a lot of money, but the way one flaunts it is more materialistic. The other tries to keep it low. He hides his diamonds in the closet, literally. I thought that was that whole scene when Mitch comes home and he puts his he's showing what's his name, what's the kid's name,
I know the kid's name.
I got
This is
it.
gonna be so
I got
good.
it. I got it. Don't
Are
tell
you
me.
sure?
Yeah.
Sunny.
Say okay. Yeah.
And it's
Money-
always sunny in Philadelphia, but not apparently in Harlem.
Future money making Sonny. One finger missing, money making Sonny.
Now, if you notice, real quick, but if you notice what Lulu said to him, I don't know if you caught it. He says, "Hey man, tell your friend the drug dealer, hey, give this to him. Take him out to the movie sometime."
Yeah.
They basically saying, "Hey man, hey."
Well, it was what Ace said in that scene where he's like, yeah, they
dress nice,
they dress
but
nice.
you-
They're like loud nice. You're
Yeah.
like nice.
Right. And he was like, "Thank you, my friend."
But you could tell Mitch has an obsession right from the beginning with the nicer things. Like he's
Right.
showing the kid how to clean his shoes. The way he keeps all his shoes up on the shelf, like showing people when they come in, these are my possessions.
I mean,
The way
he walked
lays
in
out
on
his chains.
He walked in on Sonny cleaning his shoes. Like, nah, that's not how you. Like,
Yeah.
dude, he was like, whoa. Most kids ain't even cleaning their shoes, and he walks in on them. One of the things that really referenced this to me, I was able to. Nobody ever thought I'd be able to tie Coming to America, Shaft, and to Paid in Full. And I know you're wondering how in the hell did I tie those into this, and it's because of the fact that whenever you see someone living in what appears to be a ghetto or a rundown environment or something like that, and then you see all the apartments around them horrible f***ed up, and then you walk into their apartment, it's like, whoa. So it was People's on Shaft. Of course, it was Akeem and in Coming to America when they got the apartment and they switched with the guy, the landlord. And to me, when he walked into Lulu's apartment, he's like, dude, what's going on here? He's like, you ain't got no car. Like you said, you dress like nice, and you're not loud, nice. And, so he was kind of showing him a different way. I think Lulu took a liking to Ace.
Which
From
when
the beginning.
when I saw Lulu, I was very excited because I remember him from one of the best scenes in La Bamba.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you, man. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw Lulu again, I thought it was Socks Man. Like I was like, wait a minute, did he get us? Did he get us and we didn't know? I'm like, that's not Socks Man.
I think my least favorite character, and I think he's probably supposed to be, is Calvin because he is a motherfucker. Right from the very first scene he's in to the very last time, the last part of his story, he is a motherfucker from beginning to end.
Talk about this motherfucker here. I'm glad I don't got a sister because I would have to kill him. This fucker, first off, it's several scenes with Calvin to where they set up his character to kind of let you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And if there was a protagonist, and also an antagonist, you can kind of see that with two of the characters. Of course, with Ace and Calvin, and then also with Ace and Rico. But let's get back to Calvin for a second. When Calvin, how they're setting up Calvin. Number one, they walk into Mr. Pitts, and if you notice, that's a sign of respect. That even kids from our era grow up, no matter how old we get, we still call people that we grew up knowing Mr. and Mrs. So they set it up right from the beginning. But then Calvin walked, and also it was a callback to the movie Fresh. Actually, they did this because in the movie Fresh, the little boy was always taking care of his older sister who was getting pimped out by drug dealers and things of that nature. So to me, when Calvin walks in with Ace's sister, and you know what I'm saying? And he first comes to Mr. Pitt. He was like, man, can you change this? Mr. Pitt, like, nah, they showing you right then and there the element of hardworking man who owns his own business. Mm-hmm. And we don't even get 30 minutes into the film before Mr. Pitts walk back in and gets his shade revenge. Like, well, I guess your sister's going to have to find a new boyfriend.
Yeah. One of the things that before we get off Calvin, that scene when
Dinner?
That was a great scene. Just the way everybody acted around how like he had fear put in people.
The mom said like maybe 4 words, but her presence was so strong in that dinner scene.
You knew how she felt.
Yeah.
But the scene when Calvin's trying to he wants to be out on the corner, not working with somebody. He wants to be doing something, but he's too hot. And he's like when he says, "I'll see you later." You can hear the music go down a note, an octave. You can hear his tone. Like in that moment, I was like, "That's the motherfucker that beat his ass when he walked through the door in the beginning."
Like, let's stay on Calvin for a second. He should have got his ass beat like way early in the movie. This motherfucker tells Ace as he comes back in from a hard day of work. He's trying to explain to him like, hey man, I see you doing your thing. I like that. Let me tell you something, man. He's asking Ace about Mitch's sister. Ace and Mitch's sister are clearly with each other at the time, and so he tells him like, man, look here, man.
Which Regina Hall.
Oh yeah, I bet you didn't see that coming. That's why I didn't tell you.
No, I didn't. But I was very pleasantly satisfied because that brought me back to like scary movie days where she was.
Oh, I thought it brought you back to it, like the chocolate wrapped in the white cream or whatever you said that episode. Yeah, with that being said, we'll get back to that. But no, in that same in that same scene, okay, 2 things happened to where he should have got his ass beat. And they're a combination of both. First, he tells him, like, look, man, this right here, I make $800 a day, $100 a pop. Almost like even if he was trying to give him advice, he's such a creep that he then says, man, I'm telling you, old girl, she'll suck your dick all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, oh, shit. So to me at that point, he was like, nigga, you trying to tell me my sister sucking your dick all day? That's what he was. He was like, man, your girl will suck your dick all day if you got this money. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, boom, he says that. Then, in case that wasn't enough, after he disrespects his mom, like he gives Ace's mom some money for the groceries. And then while she's obviously fixing dinner, motherfucker's like, hey, let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. That's the second ass whooping. And then as he leaves out, I don't know who the cinematographer was on this, but they keep the cameras straight. He looks back, he's like, that's a shady motherfucker. Last thing on Calvin, he has what they call Napoleon complex because as Ace and Rico, played by Cameron, are arguing with him in the club, they're looking down at him like he's looking up like, all right, man, I'm gonna see you later.
Yeah, like that part could have easily been played by Eddie Griffin if it was a slightly different genre. Mm-hmm. 2 things that I loved about this movie. Well, really, there's three things. The main character. Ace, yeah. What's
again?
The
Woods Harris
again?
also
Woods
played
Harris.
in He Got Game.
Okay, and I saw he went on to play in I think the Wire.
Oh yeah, the Avon Barksdale baby.
Okay,
Avon Barksdale baby.
I'm glad I went to his IMDb. I was very glad to see that he's still working.
Remember the Titans, Creed 1 and 2. You want me to keep going? I'm a human IMDb.
He easily made the movie for me because he was a perfect lead, a perfect straight man to carry everything for everybody to bounce off of. Mm-hmm. And I'll get into that more in a future segment. But the another thing that I really liked about it and that I picked up on was the editing, the way they paced the story out. Whenever there was a big decision that had to be that was made, whenever there was like a cataclysmic event that happened, it would always jump to shortly after that event, and then they'd be like when he finds Lulu dead, when what happens to Mitch happens, any event like that that's big, it jumps right after it, and then you go back and find out how it happened, and it gives you this impression, I think, in very successfully, that there is no choice in the lifestyle they're living.
I love that you say that. I mean, because nowadays there would be a choice, but back then I agree with you on that. But as far as you talked about with the pacing, think about the Scarface scene as Mitch is going to go
Yeah.
kill old boy. Like Ace is in the movie watching Scarface, but even before that, when Ace first meets Lulu, what you don't remember is that now that's when we first meet Ice. And Mitch is going to go talk to Sonny, and as soon as he walks in, he's like, "Hey, Mitch, what's going on?" He tries to what's up him. He passes right by this motherfucker, almost like some a rat situation in Kill.
Yeah.
But and so. And anything, here's the crazy part about it. The first person we really see Mitch what's up is the person that winds up killing Sonny in the end. Because remember he said Leon did the work. Ice got arrested. Leon did the work. And who the asked for $500,000 in the 80s? What the were they thinking? Like, dude, like at least make it reasonable. Like, man, 50,000, like you getting a finger. Like 500,000, what the
Go big.
Somebody say, "Oh, Mr. Big, $5,000."
Speaking of a lot of money, that was the other thing that I really liked about it, was every once in a while it would go to these like abstract, surreal moments where money is raining down on different scenes and like only Ace can see it. I thought that was really cool, and like the final, like the cherry on top of that cake at the end, it pulls you back out of the production and shows them creating that effect for the movie that's being made. I thought that was a really nice touch. I think that singular aspect of it took this movie from like a run-of-the-mill urban film to this is not just shoot 'em up drugs, and this is something that is thoughtful.
And think about it. Like, even think about it too, real quick. Two things. I'm gonna start with Ace and segueing back and talk until how you were talking about the scene with Ace. If you notice, when did you never saw Ace smoke? You never saw Ace really even drinking. That goes for even him. Even though they all were three different people between Rico, Ace, and Mitch, none of them were using their product. Like maybe Rico and Mitch hit the blunt every now and then, but as far as anything else, they were not like f***ed up with their money and shit like that. But with that being said, two things that I don't think that I know that whoever the cinematographer is or the director is, we know Charleston the third one time for the three. I don't know who idea it was, but I don't know if you caught this. When that scene when Mitch lays down after he takes all his clothes off and he lays in the bed and he stares out. If you notice, what to the common man, it looks like he's just staring out into the living room where everything popped off earlier. No, he's looking at the bars. There's only one way out, which is jail. He sees that, like, damn, I'm laying here, and all he can see is some type. Whenever the game's over, he's going to jail. He feels like he can't change it. And then when Ace goes back home and his wife is like, girlfriend's like 7, 8, 9 months pregnant, and he said, "Didn't I tell you I was going to be here?" And she finally goes back to sleep. He looks out his window. His windows are the same type of bars. Like, they're both like, man, because that's why after the fake cops came to him, he was like, man, walls closing in on me. I only see really 1 or 2 ways out. He thought it was going to be jail or death. So whoever, and they did it the same way. It's always it was a backup shot. It was like, God, man, somebody really thought about that.
Yeah, and he played it really well because you never knew. He was always kind of inside his own head.
Correct. He's tucking his chain in.
He did a really good job at making that entertaining.
Right.
Without like giving too much away.
And definitely, and one last thing before we go was the simple fact was that he always made it his business to not only just stick to himself. He realized the more people you feed, the less enemies you create. And so he was happy with not making maybe $1 million a week, but maybe making $500,000 a week, because now the other $500,000 bought me security, comfort. People gonna let me know what's going on. But
no, I totally identify with that aspect of him. Like, I've never dealt drugs, but the way that the way he approached the hustle.
If you were gonna deal drugs, that's how you would want to deal drugs.
Well, that's how I deal my services. I look at what's out there, like as far as photography, editing, things like that. I undercut the competition.
That's right.
And I still eat all right. So like, by not being greedy, you pick up all the business where most people are like.
And he said he started stealing other people because he had better product at a lower price. He was selling faster and giving more. So yeah, those are the talking points for Paid in Full.
Find us in all these links. It's coming up right now.
That's the trailer.